In 408 AD, a desperate and hungry Visigoth army approached the great city of Rome. They had come to overthrow the greatest ancient city in the world. My name is Jordan Williams, and I am going to speak on the first sacking of the Roman Empire. I thank History.com and HistoryToday.com for my research of this topic. Visigoths are one of the many Germanic tribes living in and around the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. Visigothy was a Roman term for Eastern Goth, as opposed to Ostrogothi, which were classified as Western Goths. Most Visigoths were part of an Eastern nomadic tribe that had entered the Roman Empire as refugees fleeing from the Huns, a powerful nomadic Eastern tribe. Rome gladly accepted Visigoths into the empire, but did not recognize them as citizens. Rather than Visigoths served as a buffer for much larger and more dangerous barbarian tribes that threatened Roman security. Unfortunately, the Visigoths were severely mistreated by the Romans. Living inside the empire didn't change the fact that Visigoths still had many challenges. Visigoth men were expected to serve in the Roman Empire and were also sent into the fiercest battles. Lack of food was always an issue, and at one desperate moment, Visigoth children were traded into slavery in exchange for dog meat from the Roman government. The Visigoths quickly grew out of tired being mistreated they received from the hands from the Roman officials. Additionally, the Visigoths could see that Rome was growing weak and more vulnerable than ever before. This widespread frustration, along with the weakening Roman Empire, sparked a rebellion against Rome and led by Alaric, king of the Visigoths. Writer and scholar Joshua Mark notes, quote, Alaric was better suited as a warrior than a minister, and, in 396 AD, led his forces through the Balkans, pillaging as they went down into Greece. He turned back to Italy, and after a number of engagements with the faltering Roman forces, sacked Rome in 410 AD. Close quote. The problem after that is the army is now starving. Alaric literally needed to pillage Rome, or they would all starve to death. They had no choice. It was either die trying or to starve. They cut merchandise and food trades from the city. The Roman citizens were starving from the inside. Since the Romans were so hungry, they eventually opened the gates and let the Visigoths in. What followed was a slaughtering of Roman citizens. Unfortunately for the Visigoths, the raid turned up very little food, and within a few days, the army moved on. Historian Richard Cavendish notes, quote, Romans who resisted were killed and women were raped by the Visigoths or by slaves who took the opportunity to revenge themselves on their masters. Yet not many buildings or monuments were destroyed in it. Said that the attackers did not slaughter nearly as many of the inhabitants as they might have. Close quote. In conclusion, the long-term effect of the 410 sacking of Rome would eventually lead to the complete downfall of the Roman Empire. Other barbarian forces saw these events and became less and less afraid of the Rome. Over the next 70 years, hordes of barbarians attacked the empire. Warfare, corruption, and financial crisis ultimately led to the destruction of the Roman Empire and brought about the Dark Ages, a period of regression in the Western Europe that would last 700 years. Thank you for listening.